Yeah. Can you hear me, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Sorry. I think I surpassed my time, and that's the signal given to me by Google. I mean Zoom that I should stop. Well, lastly, I would say only that there is the last lesson, the last thing for the children is that the kind of moral compass which you must have. I mean, the moral compass would always tell you whether something is good or something is bad, or something is right or something is wrong. I mean, many a times during professional career, we are in dilemma. We are under a lot of pressure to do something. Sometimes we are tempted to do something. So that's where the moral compass helps us. And your moral compass, I would say only that it should point true north. I mean, sometimes the moral compass also gets corrupted. It should not happen with all of you. Well, youth, you have a larger responsibility to for you. 65% of Indian population is below 35, and around 225 million youth are in your age group, and you only can change this nation, change the color of this nation. We already on a growth path, and you people can actually contribute a lot. Well, in the end, I will thank the modern school management for having invited me and given me this opportunity. Well, for children, I mean, when you go out and face life, you will be forced to change. I mean, the forces will be there, outside forces will be there, which will make you change, and you change also. I mean, there is no issue on that. You change, but I will end with the very famous saying of the Dalai Lama, that open your arms to change, but don't let go of your values. Well, with this, I end my session. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we request you to answer some questions by the students.
Yeah, sure. Most welcome.
Over to you, Priyanka.
Priyanka must be muted.
Over to you, Simarpreet. Over to you, Anshreen.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
As you know that you are very busy, how do you manage your professional and personal life?
Well, it's a very good question. I hope my wife is also not logged in. I don't know. Well, I would say that as far as I am concerned, I draw a very distinct line between professional and personal life. There is always a tendency of for both of them getting overlapped, but it is entirely up to you that where you draw the line. When I come back home, it is everything is for personal course. But yes, I mean, the professional responsibilities sometimes they these are to be answered, and especially when you uh, rise up in the ranks and have some leadership positions, so it is very difficult to cut off from the professional life. But yes, I make my own efforts and strike out a balance between personal and professional lives. And generally, it is a double life for a professional. But I try my best. That's a very good question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Over to you, Ashna.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ashna.
Is there any space for values, morals, and ethics in what you deal with, or is it a mere business?
No, Ashna, I mean, this is a misconception that values are only for namesake. These are not like that. Because I overran my time, I was to talk about something about values, whether the business can be run on good values or not. So I'll answer you with that every organization has certain values, and organizations, they become parallel to living, uh, I would say, living organism. So there are certain values on which every organization is run. Like in Indian Oil, we have four values which have been recognized, for which all 33,000 of employees, they work for these four values. And let me tell you which these values are. These are very basic values: care, innovation, passion, and trust. I mean, look at these. These are four very basic values. Care is what you learn when you are not even 1 year old from your mother. And innovation is what we all have done. I mean, ancient Indian innovations, we Indians, we innovation is part of our culture. And as far as passion is concerned, we people are Indians are quite passionate. Whatever we do, remember what I said. I mean, what Socrates said, in fact. I mean, put everything, whatever you do, put everything into it. And then, of course, trust. And trust is also something which you learn at a very early stage of your childhood. And these values, they play a very larger role in business, because they help us in taking decisions. They help us in weaving up in a single thread. I mean, there's so many people, there are employees, there are customers, there are clients, there's government. Now everything is bound by these four values. Uh, uh, so these four values are basically remembered whenever we do any act, whenever we undertake any act. And another important thing, whenever you are under pressure, you never forget that for what values you are working for. So never bend under pressure. And another thing is that whenever you are in dilemma, the value system, if you have got a good value system, it helps you. I mean, there are circumstances when you are tempted to do something wrong in your professional value. It happens. It actually happens. And that is where your subconscious mind, because here something is already developed, it basically debars you from going into the wrong direction. Look at what I said, the North Pole, the pole star. So if your pole star is alive, you look at the pole star and find the directions. And that's how the values, they help in the business. And thanks for asking this question. Thank you.
Sir.
Over to you, Priyanka, now.
Good afternoon, sir. Kindly tell us about the incident that proved to be the turning point of your life.
Well, it's a very difficult question, because one of the turning points I have already, in fact, narrated when I scored a miserable score in class 8. 8 was a turning point. And another turning point in my life, which I can recount, is when I got posted in Patna. I mean, I've served in different regions, and I come from a north region. I belong to Patiala city, famous city, and a city of royal people. And I, along with others, have also enjoyed the royalty of Patiala. And when I went to Patna for a posting, Bihar and Jharkhand were the two states given to me. The poverty which I looked at in Bihar, I mean, I would travel miles and miles, and I won't see people having even having chappals, people having proper clothes. I mean, this is the kind of poverty. Once I traveled during floods. The Ganga flows right in the heart of Bihar, and it overflows during floods. And while I was traveling, I saw one of the fellows, one person catching hold of a snake. He was holding it like this, and the person who was traveling along with me, one of my officers who belonged to Bihar only, I said, "Oh, look at him! He'll get killed by snake." He said, "Sir, no, today his dinner is done. I mean, he will have his dinner with him." I mean, look at the poverty they have. Now, the turning point in my life was I thought that I belong to a privileged class. Let us start doing something for underprivileged people or unprivileged people. And that is where at least my wife, she got connected with number of, we decided as a family, and she got connected with number of NGOs, so that we are able to give back to the society. So whenever you are in a position, uh, at a position where you can uplift somebody, please do that. Even for students, even at your age, you can do something. Remember what Swami Vivekananda said. I mean, each one teach one. So it is my earnest request to all of you that at least look at the people around you, look at children around you who are not, as privileged as you people are. So at least find time to teach them something, teach them about life, or teach them, ask them to get into schools. Because the demographic dividend which I talked about is possible only if everybody, all 225 million people, million youth, they are all educated. Otherwise, this demographic dividend can become demographic disaster also, because illiterate people, uneducated people, people without value system will definitely can play havoc with lives of their lives and with the others' lives. So that was definitely the turning point, second turning point in my life. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now, Simmerpreet would like to ask the question.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah,
As we all know that discipline is one of the key elements to attain success in life. So how, according to you, can students inculcate the value of discipline in their life?
well, this is very important to know that how discipline actually helps you. When later in life, first of all, let me tell you how discipline helps. Later in later life, I mean, you basically are supposed to have a certain conduct, certain protocol, which needs to be followed at all the times. You need to structure things. And in case you are very good at discipline, you know the importance of discipline, then I mean, it becomes very convenient and it becomes very easier for you to strike out a structure and to basically bring about a system amongst the team. Because discipline plays a very great role when you are leading larger teams. And if you yourself are disciplined and you exhibit that discipline to the team also tries to emulate that, team also tries to follow that. So that discipline brings productivity within the organization. I mean, this is something which organizations get out of discipline. And personally speaking, if you are disciplined enough, you can maintain good health, because you know that getting up early in the morning, then going for a walk. I'm not saying that I follow all these with strict discipline, but what I'm saying is that these are the things which actually help you upgrade your own systems, personal systems. And now coming to the core of the question, that how can you inculcate, how this quality of discipline gets inculcated in you? Well, I would say in our times, teachers gave a large focus to discipline. Particularly, I mean, they would be very strict with us, even in the smallest of the small things, like coming late to the class. I mean, the kind of I would say, if you are late in the class, you would be punished. It's a going to be very small punishment, but that punishment would teach us the importance of discipline. But now I think this punishment is just out of the books now. But at the same time, the students are very well aware. They are they are much more informed than what we used to be. They are in a better state of self-actualization, self-realization. So you yourself will have to realize the importance of discipline in your life and start practicing that discipline. I mean, you can start with the very small things. Keep flexibility within you. Okay, then I have to get up in the morning. Then I mean, make out a schedule and stick to that schedule. Keep a flexibility in that schedule, but try to follow that schedule, and so that this discipline gradually and slowly gets inculcated in your life, in your personality. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
It's your turn, Trishala, now.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
As we all know that the business of people have been ruined in this pandemic situation, what would you suggest to raise the GDP of the country?
Well, it is a very I mean, it's an economic question, and the entire government is tying up with what to do. I mean, in a kind of pandemic. But let me tell you, at the times of pandemic, what we have done professionally, because I didn't speak anything about Indian Oil. In Indian Oil, when you have talked about GDP, let me tell you the turnover of Indian Oil, the largest oil corporation of the country, is around 3 to 4% of the entire GDP of the country. I mean, it's very important. Look at the size of the corporation, which we with which I am connected with. Well, what we did during pandemic was, when we looked at the demand cycle within the country, because of pandemic you talked about, because of pandemic, the sale of petrol and diesel was going down. And when the sale was going down, then we looked at the other options. We looked at the options of exporting to the other countries. And what we found out was that the neighboring countries, they don't have their own production system, the kind of production system which we have within our country, they don't have. So what we did was we started supplying, exporting to those countries. We continued to run our refineries. We never went into any kind of shutdowns. We never reduced our production. It was reduced, of course, but not to that extent, because we found customers elsewhere. So what organizations, what companies, what government has done during the time of pandemic is to look for alternative ways, look for some other ways. Like, let me tell you, during the times of pandemic, during second wave, oxygen crisis we all have faced. I mean, all the families, most of the families, they have got impacted due to oxygen crisis, because suddenly the demand of oxygen from 3,000 metric ton per day, it rose to 10,000 metric ton per day. And Indian Oil was one company which was interested upon setting up the entire system of oxygen. And talking about me, I was into 9th day of my COVID when I was asked to set up a system abroad, because I used to look after exports. And we did everything in next 8 to 10 days. Half of my team was impacted, but we worked overnight, day and night. Fortunately, it was a very, very mild attack, so I was able to do that. And we set up a system for oxygen. So if we want, we can do anything on this earth. And now this oxygen thing has given us another business product where we can actually deal with in peace times. When the peace time is there, we can look at a definitely a separate product. Now, these are the ways and means. We'll have to look for new ways and means. The kind of business now the companies are doing has entirely changed. I mean, there's no traveling. There's all everybody's connected through web. So how can we improve our business through digital technology? How can we improve upon them? These are some of the methods which we'll have to adopt to raise our turnover, raise our revenues, and everything will count when we count on GDP. Yeah, thank you. Very intelligent question. Good.
Thank you, sir.
I would ask Mansira to ask a question now.
Good afternoon, sir. Please tell us about any
Good afternoon.
adorable or inspirational person of your life.
Well, adorable. I think my son is not connected. Is my daughter like you? I mean, she is in Sydney. She's married now. She's a professional in accounting. I don't know whether yesterday I was interacting with her. I mean, daughters are always so concerned about their dads. She said, okay, oh, you are preparing for a speech. I said, I'm not preparing. I'll just speak out my life experiences. But still, she sent me a few videos. You know, this is the kind of concern. And my son, he came from Goa yesterday. He just ran away. He didn't have time to, log in and watch what I'm talking. And I hope my daughter must be watching. But there's no comparison. I mean, both of them are adorable. But yes, daughters are always more adorable. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Over to you, Mansi.
Nidhi, tell me, I mean, has this become all girls' school now? You have not answered my question.
No, sir, it isn't.
Okay. All right. Please go ahead.
Over to you, Mansi.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Could you please share with us any moment where you had to take decision in your business giving priority to your value?
Well, as I said, I mean, the the moment when I have already narrated that the moment when I was asked to set up a task force to deal with oxygen. I was into 9th day of my COVID, and let me tell you, I was under little bit of panic, because all sort of WhatsApp theories were going on that the 9th day is the most dangerous day, when COVID comes back. So I was feeling all right, but I was fearing that whether today is the day for me. I mean, when the COVID is going to come back. But suddenly I get a call from the chairman, and he tells me that Sandeep, if you are okay, then will you be able to set up a task force for oxygen? Because there's a lot of aid which has to come, and a lot of coordination which is to be done with embassies outside India, and with Navy and with Air Force. The entire government of India was working for that, and I couldn't say no to that. And that is where the values, the kind of value system which you have, which actually has got inculcated during your entire school journey, or even after that, that helps you take decisions. As I said, whenever you are in a dilemma, the value system will help you guide, like the pole star guides the seafarers. So yes, I mean, that was the moment when value system helped me in taking a call. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now, Sukhnur would like to ask a question.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
What message would you like to convey to the students of the school?
Yeah, well, Sukhnur, your name is, I mean, your beautiful name, Sukhnur. So,
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, so my message to all the students is that please develop feeling for others. I mean, feeling of compassion within you. I've already said that, but for the sake of repetition, let me tell you that the kind of concern which you can develop for others, because we come in this world alone, but we have a society. We live for society eventually, and the if you place yourself slightly away from yourself, then you will find a lot of pleasure when you start working for the benefit and welfare of others. So develop feeling of compassion, feeling of sharing, feeling of working for underprivileged people or unprivileged people. That will be one line message from my side to all of you. Rest school is teaching you all. I mean, I don't have to come in and tell you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Now, I'd like to ask Gurleen Kaur to extend her gratitude.
On the behalf of entire modern school, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the grandee for taking out his time and consenting for the meet. Sir, indeed, your words have inspired us all. I want to thank everyone for being a part of this meet and making it successful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thanks for connecting me again to Modern. It has been pleasure.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.